Hey everybody, it's me, Andrew, and this is going to be a video um, kind of that I just decided to make on the fly. I have been thinking about making it, but then I was like, should I really make this or, whatever. But something was like, yes, you need to make this. This is what you need to do. You need to say this. You need to get this out. So I was like, okay. So I really want to put this out there, and I want to talk about it because I don't feel like it's talked about enough. I feel like that there's a lot of shame that is brought to this issue, and I feel like when we just stay super like absorbed in the shame, then the situation can only get worse, and we can't fully um, move forward. We can't really make any empowering decisions when we're in that place of shame, when we're in that place of guilt. Um, that I firmly 100% believe that hinders us from being able to move forward. That hinders us from being able to truly change our lives when we still have shame and guilt. And I bet some of you are like, what the fuck is he talking about right now? What is he getting ready to talk about? Like, what did he do? What I'm talking about is money. 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 And there are a couple types of people that are watching this video. Either you have no issues with money, you respect money, you're cool with it, like you don't, you're very money conscious, very money minded, and you have a set plan. There are people watching this who have money problems, who have issues around money. Like me, honestly. Let me plug my computer in really quick so it doesn't die. But there we go. Um, there are people that are watching this right now who have had a really difficult go of it, who have had a really difficult time with money, and um, people who have felt like money is something that keeps them safe, who have felt like spending money and buying things keeps them safe, right? And then there are people who just don't really know where they are with money, and they're just trying to think about it. So recently, I've been in a job transition, and I actually moved to a job that does pay me less than the job that I was at previously, right? Because the job that I was at previously, while I was making money, I wasn't happy, and the money was very inconsistent because there was commission thrown in, right? So I have a new job, and I love my job, but I get paid less. And so that's just kind of where I'm at right now, which I am really putting more work into my spiritual business, which that I know that's the reason why I took this job, because I was kind of growing complacent, and I'm really excited for the opportunity, but we'll talk more about that later. So, for forever, since I don't even know, since I've always had money, money's always burned a hole in my pocket. You know what I mean? My mom always said, you can't have $1 without having to go buy something. And I'm like, and I used to just laugh it off, but I'm like, that shit's true though. Like, there are times where, like, I know I shouldn't buy something, but I buy it anyway. And there's a sense of, like, it's not that I grew up poor. It's not that I mean, my family was average, middle class. Like, there wasn't, we weren't poor or broke by any means. And we didn't have tons of money, but I didn't go without, I never went without anything I needed. But I feel like there was a lot of psychological trauma and a lot of psychological stuff that, plus me being a Cancer, kind of, I have that energy of wanting to hoard things. Like, to my right now, is like a shit ton of decks that I'm selling and getting rid of, simply because I can't have them anymore. Like, I don't want them to just, you know what I mean? Like, I've been hoarding for way too long. And when I got 18 and I discovered credit cards, I racked up fucking credit card debt like nobody's business because I bought things because things made me feel safe, right? But then after I bought the things, there was this shame about the debt that I had accumulated. There was this shame about the what I had done, what I had spent, what I had bought. And lately or before I even got this new job, I had started down that cycle again. And I've been taking my life in droves and cycles when it comes to spending. And I've gotten myself into some really bad situations. And fortunately, I have someone who loves me and who helps and who has been trying to help me move past my money issues and my issues around how I see money. But I got into a predicament and I got into an issue, a really big issue with one of my credit cards. And I have one that I use for everything, and I just started buying. I kept buying stuff. I kept buying stuff. I kept buying decks that I did not need. Like I kept buying decks that I don't even know if I fucking wanted or not. You know what I mean? Like, and as far as like, because anybody that watches my channel knows I have a lot of decks. And a lot of the decks that I have, I really, really love. And there's a special place in my heart for them because I bought them, at a time in my life where something was going on and they really spoke to me. But I think there's been a part of me that has seen myself as not a legitimate tarot card reader if I don't have a million decks, right? There's been a part of me that says, well, the more decks I have, the more legitimate I am at reading cards. The more legitimate of a reader that I am, the more decks I have obviously means that I'm legit. And I was like, what does that even mean? Like, what does a legit tarot reader even mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you read tarot for people and you do it because you genuinely love serving people and you love helping people and people just love your readings, then you're a legit reader. Even if you have one deck, you can have one deck and be a badass, like, bomb tarot reader. Like, it doesn't matter how many, and it took a while to get this into my head, but it doesn't matter how many decks I have because, I mean, I don't use them. So what's the point of accumulating all these decks if I'm not going to use them? Is it just to make me feel legitimate? Is it just to make me feel like, I have a lot of options to read from when I only use like 3 decks to read with anyway? Like, I just, I got into some really, like, I started spending way above my means, right? And there's been such a shame around my money. There's been such a shame around my habits. Um, and I've realized that and that other people are going through this, and I want you guys to know that you're not alone. Like, you can be going through this, and you could be sitting here like, holy shit, how do I pay these bills? But let me tell you something. A little bit ago, a couple of days ago, I had a legitimate breakdown. Like I woke up in the morning, I turned right to what I was wanting to to look at. I woke up early in the morning and I started freaking out because I knew I didn't have the money to pay my credit card. Like I knew it. I just knew it, right? And I was freaking out. I was like hyperventilating. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like, and in that moment, I felt so hopeless and I felt so desolate and I felt so sad and I felt ashamed that I had gotten myself into this mess, right? But then I decided to look at my Instagram because I had calmed down a little bit and I was like, I couldn't sleep. So I was like, I'm just going to get on my phone. And I went to Instagram and one of my friends posted this from A Course in Miracles. And I actually have the Course in Miracles on my Kindle app, so I can read it on the go. And I'm actually reading it from the Course in Miracles. This is lesson 47. So before I read this, I want to put you in the mindset that I was in when I found this. I have been freaking out. I have been wondering, how am I going to do this? How can I do this? How can I change this situation, right? And I was really putting a lot of pressure on myself, and I was asking myself for a lot of guidance, right? Listen to this. Lesson 47. God is the strength in which I trust. So before I go any further, God here is whoever you want it to be, whatever energy you want it to be. It's not the Christian God. So this says, listen to this. And this was truly a message from the divine. This was truly a message from the universe that spoke straight to my heart. If you are trusting your own strength, you have every reason to be apprehensive, anxious, and fearful. What can you predict or control? What is there in you that can be counted on? What would give you the ability to be aware of all the facets of any problem and to resolve it in such a way that only good can come of it? What is there about you that gives you the recognition of the right solution and the guarantee that it will be accomplished? Are you feeling it? Just wait. Of yourself, you can do none of these things. To believe that you can is to put your trust where trust is unwarranted and to justify fear, anxiety, depression, anger, and sorrow. Who can put his faith in weakness and feel safe? Yet, who can put his faith in strength and feel weak? God is your safety in every circumstance. His voice speaks for him in all situations and in every aspect of all situations, telling you exactly what to do to call upon his strength and his protection. There are no exceptions because God makes no exceptions. And the voice which speaks for him thinks as he does. And the idea for that day was God is the strength in which I trust. And it told you about an exercise to think about something that is causing you grief, that is causing you pain, and that is causing you to be scared. And think about it and let it just resonate in you. And then just say, God is the strength in which I trust. When I said this, I just visualized the golden light from God covering me and covering my situation. And what I feel like has happened is that there has been such a shift in how I think. That the universe has kind of thrown money at me to help me. And this isn't to brag about this, but listen, my shame is gone. But I acknowledge the mistakes that I made, right? I acknowledge that I made some decisions that were not the best. That I bought things not out of a need for them, but out of a need to feel safe. And I put my safety, I put my ability to feel safe in how many decks that I have, or how many things that I have, or how many movies I've bought, or, how many whatever the fuck that I bought, books, whatever. I put my feeling of safety in something else that was not God. Are you hearing me? I put my feeling of safety in something that was not God. Because there's only one thing that can make us feel safe, and that is God. The universe, source, divine, whatever you call it. That is the only thing that can make us feel safe. When we begin to put our safety, I hope you guys are listening to this, when we begin to put our safety in other things, when we begin to put our safety in things that we can physically touch, we have made a grave mistake. Our safety comes from one place. Our safety comes from the divine. And we have the divine inside of us. Once we realize that all the strength we need is found in God, then that's where it is. And the biggest thing about that is once you begin to feel that safety, right, you can begin to let go of that shame and that fear. The next lesson in the Course in Miracles says there is nothing to fear. And it says the idea for today simply states a fact. It is not a fact to those who believe in illusions, but illusions are not facts. In truth, there is nothing to fear. It is very easy to recognize this, but it is very difficult to recognize it for those who want illusions to be true. The presence of fear is a sure sign that you are trusting in your own strength. When you are scared of something, take a moment and say, whose strength am I trusting in? Because the very lesson before is God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which you trust. Nobody else. God. God is saying, look, my computer, there we go. When we talk about this, when you begin to fear something, when you begin to fear your circumstances, you have a problem. Because you are fearing how you can change you are fearing the situation because you don't feel like you can change it. B, you feel like you are just powerless to everything. Or C, you're trusting in something else besides God to give you strength to get through it. Now, that's just about fear. But I think the light workers have a very hard problem with this, a very difficult issue around really owning money. Money is such a huge problem that I've noticed. This is here for us, guys. Stop feeling the shame. If you're sitting here with tons of credit card bills, they're all maxed out, you can't pay rent, and you're sitting here feeling ashamed, ask yourself something. You're sitting here feeling ashamed. What is that getting you? How is that making you feel? Is that making you feel better? Are you feeling better because you're feeling ashamed? No. Instead, there is such a power. I mean, when I say power, I mean power like you've never heard of before. Power in owning it. Own what you did. Own that you made decisions that maybe were not the best at the time. Don't judge yourself. Don't beat yourself up because I'll come find you. Don't do it. Don't beat yourself up. Say self, and then yourself will say, Say, look, I've made some decisions that are not the best. And I have been feeling all this shame about it. But I refuse to feel that shame anymore. And instead, I choose not to focus on my shame, but to focus on my power. Don't focus on your shame. Focus on your source. Focus on your source. And begin to really do some digging and ask yourself why or how you got into this situation. Once you realize how you got into the situation and once you realize how you can make your way out of it, then you've got it. You've totally got it. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're having these issues, realize that God is the strength in which you trust. That the universe and that the divine are here to help you. That money is simply energy. And when you have a block in your energy, you're blocking that abundance. When you have a clog in your energy that's of shame and that is of, just negativity and sadness and fear, how can you expect to get help? Because you can't manifest help because you're holding on to shame and fear. And this is just a story about how the universe has your back. I was really scared about my debt, and I was like, how am I going to pay this? And I decided to log into a credit card app that I haven't logged into it forever because I don't use the card. And I had recently gotten refunded for all of my Doreen Virtue courses from Hay House because I was like, deuces. And I didn't even know that I had used that card to buy a course. I don't even know what course it was. And I had a credit of $200. So I called them and I got a check. They're giving me a check for $200 because I had it. And I'm sitting here like, wow. That's what happens. Little things like that start happening when you acknowledge the pattern, right? You acknowledge that there's an issue first. You can't get help without acknowledging there's an issue. Because if you're just in the dark, it's not going to work. You have to say, look, I'm aware that I have some issues around money, and I am willing to fix those, but I need to be able to get out of this mess, and I need to be shown how to do this. And the universe will say, awesome. Are you ready? And you'll say yes. I wanted to share this because I know that there are people that feel the same way. And I want to share this because I have some beautiful people have talked to me. I shared my story in one of the groups that I'm a part of on Facebook because I was really upset and I was really vulnerable. And, so many people just came and talked to me and commented and just sent so much love. And I had a revelation about all the shame that I've been carrying around my money. And how I've been putting my safety in physical things instead of the energy that's all around me that made me. The same goes for you. Stop fixating on your shame. Own it. Release it to as my teacher Gabby Bernstein says, release it to a higher power of your own understanding, right? To whatever it is, whoever you jive with in the sky. Even if you don't even know who it is and you just say whatever is up there, take it. Give your shame up. Give it up. Move your shame away and let it go. And when you feel it coming back, remember that God is the strength in which you trust. And if you begin to feel that fear, remember that the presence of fear is a sure sign that you are trusting in your own strength. Right? That's some heavy stuff. So I really just wanted to share my story with you guys. I wanted to share with you guys that you know where I'm at, what's going on. I hope that this helps somebody. I hope that me sharing my story helps other people be brave and share their stories. And, I feel like it's something that's really overlooked a lot. And I am, comment below, let me know, shoot me an email, tell me, what's going on. But yeah, I hope that it helped. Thank you for listening to my ramble. If you would like to work with me, I literally just a couple days ago restocked my Lightworkers team reading, which has been like the most popular reading I think I've ever had. It's been flying. So you can get yours below, and I also started with gift cards. So I have e-gift cards in my store now, which is really cool. So if you want to give someone a gift card for a reading for Christmas, you can totally do that. I love you guys, and thank you so much for all of your love and support. I hope that this has helped you. And even if maybe you didn't need to watch it, thank you for watching it anyway and letting me vent to you guys. And I will be seeing you guys very soon. Bye.